Tony Milazzo, you are live and on board. I have a very, very, very special guest and good friend of mine, Joey Medina.
Tony, how's it going, my brother?
All right, brother. Good to see you.
You too, buddy. You too.
It's been a while.
Yes, you upgraded to a beautiful yacht. This is awesome. This is definitely a chick magnet.
Stepping up the game.
Yes.
Stepping it up. I noticed you've been stepping up your game too. Wow.
Yeah, I've been stepping up that filmmaking game.
Oh God, awards everywhere. Everywhere I look, there's another award. Some trophy shop is getting rich off of you.
Yeah, no kidding. Yes, that's true. And it's funny, my girlfriend's mad because all the trophies are like on the entertainment centers. Like, see, all her stuff is off, and all my trophies are up there, and I'm getting more and more. So I'm like, oh, where am I going to put them? Where am I going to put them? But
that's what I was going to ask you. You need some cabinets, some displays.
Yeah, but
right?
it feels, it's funny. It's like when I was a kid, I was a professional boxer, but as a kid, I was an amateur boxer, and my pay was, trophies, right? When you box amateur.
Yeah.
Now that I'm a filmmaker and I'm getting the trophies, it feels good. It feels familiar,
Yeah.
It's like my girlfriend's like, well, why do you have to have so many trophies? I'm like, because I'm winning them. I'm like, you don't understand. That's my pay. That's my recognition. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm gonna put them all over. I don't care. And I'm not the kind of person that ever pats myself in the back, and I don't even like people that do that.
Yeah, you're very modest.
Thank you. But I'm proud of it. Like, when I'm sitting on my couch and I look across and I see all that, I just remember all the hard work and it's just not for this last film, it's for my other films, for my other projects. For my first film I did, where you learn and learn and learn, and you sacrifice. It's kind of like comedy, like. Yeah. There's no real, overnight sensation. Usually overnight sensations are people who've been doing it for a long time and learning for a while and sacrificing and failing a lot.
You made it out of nowhere. Yeah. Right.
But, it's like my filmmaking. It's like I actually been doing filmmaking before comedy. I went to school for television production right after high school. Yeah. So I've been doing it longer. It's just I haven't really been establishing myself as a filmmaker, but now I am, and now it's showing, you know what I mean?
Yeah, congratulations.
It's not an accident. Thank you. And it's not something. It's like, oh, he's just messing around with filmmaker. No, this is.
Yeah, he's for real.
Yeah, this is for real. And if anything came out of this last film, it's that. And that I'm happy with that. Where people go, oh no, he's a filmmaker. He's not. He's for real. He's not. He's not just someone joking around. That's one of the reasons I got into. Like, I did a horror. My first short film was a horror film because I wanted to stay away from comedy, because I figured if I direct comedy, they're just going to go, oh, he's just a comedian doing comedy. Every comedian could direct comedy.
So you went left, which is
I went completely
horror.
Opposite direction. Yeah. And it wasn't just horror. It was like torture horror. It was really crazy. But it was great. It won awards with that one too. And
great.
What
was the name of that one?
That was called Missing. That one you could find on YouTube as well. It's all black and white except blood. Blood's the only thing in color in the whole film.
Oh wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah. So it's pretty good. But the first thing I ever directed was I ever directed stuff when I was in television production school. But the first thing I directed professionally was a film. I did an entire film called El Matador, which you can find on YouTube. And in El Matador is Gabriel Iglesias' first movie. Paul Rodriguez is in the movie. Emilio Rivera from Sons of Anarchy is in the movie. Felipe Esparza is in the movie. Martin Moreno's in the movie. Alex Raimundo's in the movie. I'm in the movie. A bunch of comics are in the movie, and it was my film school. You look at it now. I look at it now. I'm like, oh my god, how horrible it was, right? Like, it was. We shot out a film. It was so bad. It was technically bad.
Yeah.
But the story is funny and goofy, and if you like getting high, definitely watch it because it's so much funnier. But it was my film school, and I did it, and I made that whole movie for $15,000.
Wow.
And I sold it for $25,000, so I made a profit, which is really hard for someone to do in their for their first film.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and
incredible.
And it was cool, and actually, it was fun making it, and it taught me a lot, because it was the first thing I ever really made. And I wrote it, directed, and produced that as well.
So the latest film is winning all kinds of awards.
Yeah, Beautiful Violence. It's the name of the film. It's a short film, and it's only 2 people in the whole movie.
Who's in it?
Bill Dawes. They're both comedians, and Eric Blake.
Great.
And I wrote it, directed, and produced it, and I wrote it during quarantine because I figured let me shoot something that I can do with no crew hardly or anything, or no actors, and in just one location. But yeah, that film, Beautiful Violence, has just won its 81st award.
Wow.
81, yeah, and for every
81 awards.
Every kind of
wow.
Every single category. I've won directing. I've won Best Picture. I've won. Both actors have won for Best Acting. I've won for Best Editing, for Best Wardrobe, for Best Makeup, for Best Music. It's won a lot of awards. I'm really blessed, and I'm very happy people seeing it. But there are people that don't like it. Just like any other movie. There's film festivals I didn't get in. There's over 100 that I did get in, but I'm sure there's probably another 100 I didn't get in. Because it deals with.
You would think people in Hollywood got to be saying, check this out.
I hope
81
so.
awards. Do you
Tony,
see what this guy can do?
So. Yes, that's
I mean, it's track record. It's all about going out and getting it done yourself, and you do that.
Yeah.
I mean, I know there's a couple people at home right now listening to this, or somewhere in the car or on a boat like us, and they're saying, Joey Medina, isn't that guy a comedian? But yes, we're talking to Joey Medina. I mean, the filmmaker.
Yeah, and I love it, and I love doing dramas, man. I love stuff that makes people cry. Films are about empathy, right? The audience has to connect to what's happening on the screen, right? So if it's funny, they need to laugh. If it's scary, they need to be scared. If it's a drama, they need to feel the drama that's happening. They need to feel sad for characters that are suffering, or animals in the film that need to be suffering, or whatever. And it's just and like my thing is, if I don't cry when I'm writing it, then the audience is not going to cry watching it. And I'm a real sensitive guy, and I don't know, maybe you feel the same way. The older I've gotten, the more sensitive I've become. I'm so sensitive. Like I can't even look at things that are horrible, right? But when I wrote that movie, I teared up. There was a crew member when we shot it that teared up. The film before that, I cried when I wrote that, and there was the makeup girl cried when we shot it. And my last two scripts, they haven't been shot yet, but I cried on both. And I remember one time I was crying, and I'm writing not this script, but the script before. It's about a transgender drag queen, and I'm writing a scene and I'm crying, and I had a friend there, and they were like, "Hey, you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's just this is so sad. This scene is so sad." Because when I write, I don't write like myself. I write like the character, so I really almost don't know what's coming out next, right? Like what they're saying next. Right. I kind of just let the dialogue happen by itself. So the dialogue was just really heavy, and I was like, "Oh man, this is so fucking sensitive, man," And I was just going with it, and so I can't wait to shoot that one. But the next one I'm doing it's called Buddy and the Man. Paul Rodriguez is going to be the lead. It's about a Vietnam vet who adopts a dog that nobody wants, an old dog that nobody wants, and it's all beat up and stuff. And it's a good story. It's a sad story, but yet good story at the very end.
Yeah.
So
sounds interesting.
Yeah, because all my other films at the very end, everybody's dead. Yeah. And but I don't know. I just think I like stuff like that because I think it's realistic.
Do you stick yourself in each film?
No, I
somewhere?
never put myself in my films. Never.
Okay.
Because I'm a pro.
Hitchcock did that.
Yeah. No. I think for features I probably would do a little cameo here and there. Yeah. Just to do it. But it's just I'm a really picky director with my actors. So if I'm not good for something, even though I wrote it, I won't put myself in it. I'm really strict with myself. Like there's some actors that the only reason they direct is so they can put themselves in stuff. That's the only reason they even direct. Yeah. But I don't do that. If I have a choice, I'd rather be behind the camera. I don't want to be in front of the camera. If I had a choice. Yeah. But sometimes I know I have to be in front of the camera, or sometimes I'm like I'm writing a comedy feature right now that there's this gay character that I'm writing that I freaking absolutely love, and I want to play that role. So I'm probably going to put myself in that role. I'm not sure yet. I got to wait till I finish the script. But right now I'm like, oh, I can do this. I can totally nail this. And it's just something fun to do. But, we'll see what happens.
Sounds good. Yeah. Sounds good. You're a true Renaissance man, Joey.
Thanks, bro. I'm trying.
Multi-talented. Wow. Just writing, directing, producing, and keeping up the comedy and the stand-up.
Yeah, and
all this time. I mean, it was the 80s when I first started watching you.
Yeah.
Right?
I've been
Back
doing
in the
this
day. You
for
were one of the Latin kings of comedy. With,
yeah, I've been doing
Paul
this forever.
Yeah.
But I love it, you know. And to me, I think I become a better comedian every year too. I think I'm a better comic than I ever was.
Yeah.
So that's you know, the good thing about age for us is we do get better. Unlike an athlete, where the older they get, they lose it. You know, we don't, unless we, you know, our health makes us forget things or our health screws us up. You know, we're going to be fine.
Yeah.
So,
and material. I mean, we have 30 more years of material.
Oh, yeah.
These youngsters get out there 18 to 22 doing stand-up.
Yeah, the jokes are about Instagram. The jokes are, you know, the only things they know.
Social media.
Yeah, because that's all that's their life. Which I get it. I'm not hating.
Media. No,
I get it.
No.
You know, but
fart and poop jokes always work.
Yeah. You know, we used to meet people the old way. You know, like there's no such thing as a blind date anymore. You just, you know, someone says, hey, there's this friend.
You swipe and they're there. They show up in your living room.
You just got to look them up. You know, there's no such thing as a blind date. And I went on blind dates, trust me. And those were surprises.
God.
Like I love comedy. I will do comedy even if I was a billionaire. I will always do comedy because I just love it. It's like for me, being a comedian is like being a musician. You know, some guy who plays guitar is going to want to play his guitar, man.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if he has a gig or not. He wants to play, right? Same thing with a real comic. Comics just want to tell jokes. Filmmaking is different, but filmmaking it's also an art. I want to do it, and that's why, you know, people say, "What are you doing? Why do you do a lot of short films?" Because the short films I can pay for these myself. You know, short film costs me anything from $0 to $1,000, $2,000.
Every penny goes on the screen.
Yeah, and I put it on the screen and I do it.
Nice.
Now, if I was going to do a feature film, that's going to be a lot more. You know, that's going to be a lot more, and it's just not a little more. It's a lot more because every day when you make a film, every day is money. Every day, even if no one got paid, every day you're buying food, and it takes time. And the thing is this: if people are working for free, which a lot of people make films and nobody gets paid because they're doing it, and I get it, and that's fine, but you can't lock anybody in, and
they get a paid job.
Yeah,
like
at first they're like, oh yeah, that's great, I want to be in it, but then I was like, oh, I can't do next week, or I can't do tomorrow, I have an audition, or I can't do, and then it throws everything off, and you can't have that. One person, a film really is as strong as its weakest link, and if one person goes, hey man, you know what, I know I'm supposed to be on set tomorrow, but I have a big audition I have to do, you're fucked, you're done. Yeah. Now you have to call everybody up and go, hey, you can't, and then everyone starts losing their energy, they start losing their drive, and it starts getting sloppy, and you start cutting corners here, cutting corners there, and it looks like shit. So I always like to pay, even if it's a little, and I call it at least thank you money. If you give everyone $100, they'll show up for $100. It's thank you money. They know they're worth more, but they also know, I got it. I appreciate it. It's $100. I'll fucking go to the store and buy some food. I'll put gas in my car, and tomorrow I'll make another $100, and the next day I'll make another $100. You know, and I try to do that. But but when I have more income, I always pay more, and I always try to take care of my guys. My sets are always fun to work on. They're never stressful. They're never crazy. I pre-plan to death, so there's never a waste of time on set. I always got my shit together, you know.
Yeah, excellent.
And I love doing that. That's like, it's funny. My normal life, I'm so disorganized. I double book all the time. I forget to write things down. Yeah. For some weird reason, when I'm filmmaking, it's just like I'm so anal, man.
Clockwork.
I check everything, and I make sure if something's gonna screw up, I'm going to get around it because I've planned that well, you know what I mean? Yeah. So,
good stuff.
There you go.
I like that. I like it. So, how are you feeling about, okay, so we're coming off this pandemic.
Yeah.
And I haven't been on stage since before the pandemic. Basically the podcast and voiceovers.
Right.
Right? And some acting auditions, blah, blah, right? So, how long were you not on stage, and then when did you start getting back? And
well, I wasn't on stage, during the first quarantine. Right before that, I went to Florida, which scared the living daylights out of me. Then I was off for a long time, doing maybe stuff on Zoom here and there, but you know, that stuff really never took off. Then when things got a little better, I started getting booked over and over again, and I'm just literally, I've been working the last 3 months every single week, and I'm, thank God, right? And so I'm just going, I'm riding it, I'm riding the wave, I'm getting out there, I'm working, and these are, I'm lucky because these are all calls I'm getting. I'm not, because I don't have a PA agent, so it's just that my calls coming in, but they're coming in, so I'm taking them.
Good for you.
Yeah. But
Get
you know,
we
also know in this business, that's great now, but then all of a sudden I may have 6 months of no work. So
right,
it's just,
get it while you can.
Yeah, there you go. So you never know.
Yeah, good stuff. I have some friends that told me they saw you on a cruise ship.
Yeah, I was working on a cruise ship. I still do cruise ships, yeah.
Yeah. Have you done any, was that before?
I'm doing one in 2 weeks.
Oh,
I'm
great.
doing another one in 2 weeks.
Great.
Fantastic. Yeah, I was off for a while on cruise ships because I was working on land a lot. You know, I was doing all these gigs. But there was a while there I was working every single week on a cruise ship almost.
Excellent.
And they're fun.
Yeah,
you know,
how is that?
It's good and bad.
I've never done a cruise ship gig.
Yeah,
I've gone on a cruise, but I've never.
Cruise ship gigs are okay, but it's very corporate, and you know you're stuck on a boat, man.
Yeah.
And it just feels weird to me, like I'm like, I want to get the fuck off this boat already. Like it's just like
hours and days to go off for
like,
30 minutes to an hour.
Like you live on a great boat, but you can get off the boat anytime you want. So it's really not. It's just like you have a nice pad.
Yeah.
Right. When you're on that ship, you can't get off that ship unless they port, right?
Yeah.
So it's like,
and even then, it's a few hours, right?
Yeah.
Don't get lost.
That's
come
it. You got
back
a few hours and come. Sometimes it's literally 2, 3, 4 hours. That's it. You're like, all right, I'm just going to grab a bite to eat.
Have you ever missed the boat or been late?
No, God forbid.
Could you imagine?
Oh yeah, that would totally get fired. But you know, it's so funny. Like the internet on the ships are so bad. So the first thing I do when I get off the boat, my first couple hours is catching up to emails. So I go to Starbucks. That's how I spend my ports. You know, but it's cool, man. It is. You know, I like when I work with people I know on the boats. You always meet nice people on the boats. You know, Carnival Cruises takes good care of you, but you know, it's like anything else. It's just there's good and there's bad to it.
Yeah.
You know, I started doing them. The first real gigs I started working after pandemic was the cruises. So the cruises helped me, man, because without the cruises, you know, I was getting broke. I was like, holy shit, I'm living off my credit cards.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because there was no gigs. And then cruises came and helped me out with that, so that was fun.
Good. Well, even now, oh my God, do you see the prices of everything right now?
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
Fuel?
Yeah, but it's like that all over the world, man. You know, it's like...
How do you feel about it? I'm about to take this show across the country, across America, to cover talented people across the country now, right? So I just got this big trailer, right, for the show.
Oh, nice.
And I'm starting to go, wow, my timing's incredible. Fuel went through the roof. I get a huge RV to go across the country.
No. You just have them come to you. Just leave it parked there.
Right? Leave it parked there.
Or just
I'm in Texas off the 40 freeway.
Chain up to some tractor trailer and go, look, just pull me. You know? But I'm lucky. I got a Prius, man. I was going to get rid of it too, right after the pandemic and get a newer car, and I was like, oh, now I'm keeping my little Prius because it's so cheap on gas, so I love it.
Yeah, it's a good thing you kept it, huh?
Yeah.
Wow, you're lucky. Prius, electric cars are where it's at right now.
Yeah, electric cars too. My friend's got a car that's it's electric, but then it turns to gas after like 30 miles.
Right.
But he never goes anywhere. He's always in LA, so he hardly ever puts gas in his car.
Yeah. We have to get off all this fuel.
Yeah,
fossil fuel.
Absolutely.
Gotta get off of it. I'd like to talk a little bit about. I mean, some people know you, and some people don't know you and your background, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, let's take it back. Let's get in our time capsule and go back in time.
Okay.
To where it all started.
Shit.
Where were you born?
Born in the Bronx, New York.
You know it.
NYC.
New York.
Yep.
Hey.
Yeah. Hey, over here.
Bronx.
That's right.
I'm from Brooklyn.
Okay.
You know, a little bit different. We speak different dialects. He's got Bronxanese and I got Brooklynese going on.
Yeah, there you go.
But
they're both good. my two favorite boroughs are the B boroughs, the Bronx and Brooklyn. So
yeah,
yeah.
Right. So tell us about that. Like anything that
I grew up
from zero to hero.
Yeah, I grew up in the South Bronx, man. I grew up. I got two sisters. I grew up with my mom without a dad. I finally met my dad in my 20s, and he lives in Florida, and everything's good there. And growing up in New York, it's like you think that's the whole world. Like that's how life is, right? And then until you get out. And I remember the first time I noticed that was right around the junior high school age. I went to Brewster, New York, for like this retreat with my class.
Oh, upstate.
And and it was beautiful. And I was
suburbs.
It might as well have been another country to me. I did not. I'm like, holy shit, this is awesome, man. And
cow sauces.
Yeah. And it was like I've always wanted to travel after that. I was like, I want to go places. I want to go out of New York City. I went from boxing. I went to Puerto Rico. I went to Dominican Republic. I went to Massachusetts once. I went to Florida. And then I'm looking at all these different places. I'm like, wow, this is awesome. And then when I was 19, I moved to Tucson to turn pro boxing. And the rest was history, man. I lived in Tucson for a while. It was nice. I was just there literally last week performing.
You look good, so you couldn't have got beaten up too bad.
No, well, I didn't get punch drunk, thank God. But I do use that as an excuse when I forget things. So, like, my girlfriend goes, "Why do you always forget?" And I'm like, what? Fuck it. Look, I boxed. I hit a lot.
If you've been hit this many times, you wouldn't be able to remember either.
That's right. And I've been hit, but luckily I've never really been knocked out. I've never, I've never really gotten a beating. I did good, thank God.
You gave some good beatings?
Oh yeah, I gave some really good ones.
Nice, nice, Joey.
But yeah, then I got into show business. Then I got into, like I said already, I went to television production school.
Yeah.
Right after high school, from 18 to 19, and then because I wanted to be a filmmaker.
Yeah.
I just didn't know how to do it. But nowadays, back then when I started, when I wanted to be a filmmaker, it was all film.
Yeah.
There was no video, right?
Yeah.
And then now you can be a filmmaker with your phone, man. You see all these people on TikTok.
It's all about filters,
making
post-production,
filters
right?
and all this. They're doing all this production with their phones and this and that.
Yeah,
and
there was
on
some
their laptops.
Academy Awards had something nominated with my phone.
And I'm like,
what?
You see, so it's different. Like I'm always a little too late coming in, but the technology is there and it's all good and it's I'm doing the things I want to do. I think that's important, man. Yeah. If you make money at it, great. You want to, but you got to live your life you want to live.
I was having this conversation on a previous show that we recorded recently, and it's the same old thing. Especially you're in LA. People say they're actors, right? They wait your table. They're an actor. I'm a writer. And I always told everyone this. I trained a lot of actors, and so one of the things I always said to them was, if you're an actor, go out and act.
Right.
And same with my musician friends. Right. If you're a musician, go out and play. Right. So you should be doing it a few days a week. And if you're so concerned with am I getting paid, maybe you should reevaluate, right? Because it's more about doing it. And once you do it, I feel like the universe just starts to answer, right?
No, I agree.
And that's what you're doing. It's like you did this short film. It's at all these film festivals, and it's winning all kinds of awards, right? So, you know what's coming next, Joey? Landslide.
I want that Oscar, man.
Capital
Oscar
groups,
nomination.
film companies, distribution.
That's what I want. That'll be awesome.
It's all coming.
Yeah.
It's all
but
coming.
it's true. Like actors, I tell them that. People go, "Oh, well, it's not a SAG thing." I'm like, first of all, you're not even SAG. And then I go, and even if you were, so what? I go. You rather be a waiter, or you rather be a lead in a film, even though it may be a crappy film. At least you got, like, there's so many actors that they don't even have a reel, and I'm like, how are you gonna get a reel if you're saying no to all these gigs?
Right. That's what you should be doing, right?
You're saying yes to gigs.
Yeah. Short films.
Look, I'm SAG. I've been in so many non-SAG films. And SAG doesn't care unless you throw it in their face or
I'm SAG too.
Yeah,
same thing. I do everything.
I go, just get a good part, man. That's what I tell actors. You want to be an actor, then act. Yeah. Do you like the role? Is it a good role? Then act. Let's do that. Because if anything, you should be paying them.
Yeah,
Like, you know
yeah,
what I mean?
exactly.
Because they're giving you a
Content.
shot. Yeah.
That's the other thing. You need content for your social media. If you're an actor, start acting. There should be acting stuff all over your website.
Exactly.
Right? All over your, and that's the only way to do it. You got to jump in and do it.
Yeah, and then trust me, man, you'll make the good money there. You know, trust me, I've been in so many of my friends, little films with no money, and then all of a sudden I'll do a show on ABC or I'll do a show on CBS, and I get a nice chunky paycheck. But one of the reasons I probably got those ABC is because
it's the balance, right?
But,
it balances out later.
I practice my craft on those crappy ones, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm ready for the big ones.
Yeah.
And that's you can't. I just hate that when I see actors like, oh well, I'm SAG. I'm like this. No, I go, no, you're not. You're a waiter. That's your job. I go, do you want to be an actor? Yeah. I go, stop. I go, I'm not gonna fall for that shit. And I'm like, if you don't want to be in my film, then don't. That's fine. Right. I go, but then don't audition.
I heard that in the history of SAG, nobody's ever been thrown out.
Probably
you know
not.
that?
The only one that
I thought
heard
it was
that
Buster Keaton or Al.
The only one that got in trouble that I remember
30s,
hearing
40s.
about was Eric Estrada, because I think he did something in SAG and he threw it in their face, like it was non-SAG.
Yeah.
But they don't check. They don't. Yeah. Look, they're busy. They're doing things.
Yeah. And we got to survive as entertainers.
Like everybody who was in Blair Witch wasn't SAG, but you think they got in trouble? They now they're in SAG.
That made them.
They made them. And it's just like it's the same thing.
They laughed all the way to the bank. Every one of them involved in that project.
And it's just you never know, man. You never know.
Yeah.
The thing is, someone told me a long time ago, people who worked for Steven Spielberg when he was doing his little class projects never stopped working. You know what I mean? Because it's, hey, Steven Spielberg. You may hook up with a director who, like Pan's Labyrinth, Guillermo del Toro. When he I forgot what he was when he put God, what's his name from Hellboy in his film. He didn't even know who the director was. He goes, yeah, some director from Mexico. He just really likes me, wants me, and because he wasn't a big director, back. And then all of a sudden he's a huge director. And he always puts him in his film. Yeah. And it's like, Quentin Tarantino, same thing. Yeah. With, John Travolta was like, some amateur director is putting me in a film.
Al Pacino, a bunch of Michael Mann films, right? I mean, I have a friend that's from Florida, and he's pretty much a big star because he's been in 200 episodes of this, 100 episodes of this, all these long-running shows. Yeah. But he only got like 3 or 4 of them in his 30-year career, and every one of them was with the same director.
Yeah, there you go.
So theoretically, he wouldn't have a career, if it wasn't for that Florida director.
Directors love working. Yeah. Just not directors in life, but in this field anyway. Directors love working with the same people because they know how to work with them already. Yeah. There's the vibe is there, the connection is there.
They can get it out of them.
And the same thing with the crew. Clint Eastwood's crew was on retainer. They literally got paid every month just to sit around and wait for him to say, okay, we're shooting.
Yeah, he needs his people.
Yeah, and because you work fast, you don't have to train nobody. You already know. They already know your lingo. They already know. Look, man, I want this. They know the kind of lighting you like. They know they want this. And I try to work with my same cats all the time. But every once in a while, you're lucky where you meet somebody new in a new position, and you get scared. But then you're lucky. My editor was always my cinematographer, and now he's just so busy that I can't get him to edit for me. So this last film, I had to find a new editor. And this new editor was amazing. This guy named Jack Sherman, and he's also a sound designer, which kills 2 birds with 1 stone. Yeah. And he won awards. He's
a musician, right? Yeah.
No, not this guy.
No, okay.
And Jack Sherman. Oh, you know what? Jack may be in a band. I don't know. I think he may be in a band. I'm not sure. But Jack has won I think maybe 3 or 4 editing awards on this movie, and he also won sound design in this movie. Great. And he's been nominated for other awards on this movie. So I was really lucky to find a new editor who works great and who's fast. And I'm like, oh, good. I love this guy. I'm always going to work with him now. But it could have been, the editor I got before him that I fired because he just was not the right guy. So I paid him the money I was going to, I promised him. Yeah. And then I grabbed the files and I had to find somebody else. So it's kind of very difficult.
Finding the right team is everything, obviously, right?
Very, very.
Yeah.
Especially filmmaking.
Yeah. Getting the right vibe too. You don't want any problems on the set.
Oh yeah. Oh, if there's problems on set, they don't come back the next day. Because I just don't need that. It's already hard enough to make a film.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The last thing I need is a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
I worked with a person on a project where they were a good friend of mine, and it was just something about her vibe where, because we were friends, she was kind of a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
And I just told her, look, I love you. We're always going to be friends. I would even recommend you to people, but I can't work with you anymore. And I stopped working with her because it was just wasn't. It just wasn't a good connection to work with.
Business is business.
Yeah, and she was a good person. She did great work. But for some reason, it just wasn't working with me, and I had to let her go.
Yeah.
But that's just life.
I enjoy you. You always have an incredible vibe, so I can't even imagine what it must be like on the set. That's
great. My set's always fun.
Yeah, I could just imagine. Yeah. So
because everybody.
So here's my headshot and resume.
Okay, there you go. Well, I love putting people I know and stuff. But when there's stuff like there's sometimes
the problem is Joey has more friends than anybody else I know in the industry. He's got so many friends. If he had to put all his friends in a movie, he'd probably have to do Titanic 2 with 2,000 extras, right?
Yes, but not only that. Like I said, I don't even put myself in unless I'm right for the part. Because I have a lot of friends. Yeah, I have a lot of friends that are great actors, but they're just not right for parts that I have available. So I'm like, But sometimes, like I said, the last film, the last two guys, the two comics who are actors on it weren't the guys I wanted, so it just turned out that they proved me wrong. So sometimes, I'm very open-minded. I'm like, all right, well, let's.
Yeah, you gotta be.
To me, I care about the project. I don't care about my personal opinion. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like there could be someone I hate and I dislike, but if I think they're really perfect for this part, I'll give it to them. And as long as I can work with them. Yeah. But because I care about the project. I don't care about my feelings. I don't care about what I have no ego in it at all.
It's got to be about the project.
Yeah, I just care about the project. That's all I care about.
Or it's got to be all about me. So I've done a lot of bad guy roles. Right? A lot of bad guy roles. I'm a funny guy. I do stand up.
Yes, I know.
And sketch comedy. I love sketch comedy. But somehow it's funny how Hollywood never utilizes a lot of your skills.
Right.
Or sometimes at all. Like, I'm a ballroom dance champion.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I haven't done it in any movie I've been in. Matter of fact, I got on Titanic, and Jim Cameron looks at me. I'm ballroom dancing with someone during break. And he goes to me, "Are you kidding me? You ballroom dance?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I ballroom dance. I'm a dance champion." And he looks at me and goes, "I just axed the ballroom set for that third class steerage Irish dance." He scrapped the whole ballroom, the whole set, $2 million, because the person didn't show up who taught ballroom.
Oh, so you could have done it.
And I'm like, I said it was on my resume. He just looked at me like he didn't read the resume.
Hey.
So, like, knowing your entertainers too, right, and your actors and what you can do with them, like that's what a real,
Yeah, you have to
read those resumes.
You have to be capable. You don't and I always think I personally would always look at a comic for a dramatic role first too, because I think comics are great dramatic actors. I've always felt that.
Yeah.
Like I think my acting skills are better being dramatic than they are comedy. Yeah. So, and I've seen that in other actors. Like Bill Dawes. Bill Dawes was a comic who's in this last film. He's an established actor. He's been on Broadway like 3 times or something like that. I've worked with him on other projects, and he's a top-notch actor. Eric Blake is his first film, but he brought it, And sometimes people can act great in a particular role, but not in another role. And because some people don't have the range.
But I do agree with you. For some reason, I notice you'll watch comics for years on stand-up, and then you see them do a film, and it's a dramatic role, and they hit it out of the park, right? Yeah. But I guess it's because we do know the range, because we're bringing people up, we're bringing them down, right? Exactly. The timing. our own emotions, right? We're on that roller coaster.
Yeah, we know how to express ourselves. Comedians know how to express themselves, and that's why we're. You know, it's funny. People say comedians are bad actors. You're right and you're wrong. We're bad actors because we don't know how to act, but we're good actors if they just let us be ourselves. Like so for instance, I think comedic acting is harder for a comic because we're doing someone else's timing. They wrote it. They made this character up. It's not our character, so I'm trying to be a character that this guy wrote, right? Yeah. And my comedy is mine, my personality. That's how my comedy is. But if something's dramatic, I know how to be sad. I know how to be angry. I know how to be, you know, evil or whatever. You know, whatever I'm trying to do. Yeah. Fatherly, whatever it is, whatever the character is trying to do, I know how to do those things, and I know how to express it because I'm a comedian. Yeah. So I can do that. I can be angry. I can be mad. I can
I'm
be
sure you
depressed.
have your own bag of tricks, right? To get there, how you get there in the moment, right?
And those bag of tricks I use for myself, but I also use for my talent when I'm working with talent. Oh. My thing is, every director is a safe cracker, and every audience, I mean, every actor is a safe, and we're just trying to figure out how to open that up and get that out. Yeah. You know, so sometimes depending on what the role is, or depending on what the scene is, I'll talk to the actor ahead of time. You know, I'll have lunch with them and go, hey man, let's talk about this role. This role is a heavy role. You know, your husband just died. You're crying. You know, can you do this? So you feel good doing this. So you have a hard time crying. Do you have, you know, can you cry drop of a hat? That all those things I need to know. You know, what, you know. This long dialogue, what do you need? Because I may not cut. Do you want me to cut? Do you want me not to cut? Yeah. What can I do to make you kick ass in this scene? Yeah. And you know, in this role? And they'll be like, okay, thank you. I need this, or I need that, I need that. And then, you know, because everyone is different. Every actor is different. So some actors go, no, I got it. I just do it. And they'll, you know, I can cut as many times because they'll be right on it every single time. Other actors can't. Other actors, you can't fuck up their flow, because if you fuck up the flow, then they can't do it again. Yeah. So you have to go, okay, I have to know that ahead of time. So I'm like, we're just going to keep shooting. You're just going to keep rolling. We're going to keep shooting until this person gets it all out. Right? Yeah. So there's different ways to do it. Yeah. And that's the fun part of directing, man.
Yeah. It's very exciting.
It's like being a captain of a ship.
Yeah, for sure.
It's very similar.
Yeah. I like a strong hand when I'm out there. And I'm a method actor from Strasbourg and Stella Adler and HB Studios. I did Shakespeare.
Nice.
And I've directed myself, but there's nothing like that knowing someone's there, right, helping you and working you. And I don't feel you get that a lot. I've been in Hollywood on a lot of big sets. And I guess maybe they feel at that point you've been hired, you're just going to do your thing.
Yeah, a lot of
there's no hand. I feel like there's nobody guiding me, like, you know, what's going on here?
A lot of directors, they're more technical. Some don't care. And directing television and directing features are a little different. So directing a sitcom or directing a single camera on television is different too. So it's just the vibe, you know. And depending what role you have, you know, if it's a smaller role, they're not going to mess with you as much, you know, because it's like, I just need this. It's just a little bit of that. Yeah. They may tweak you a little bit, but that's it. But if you have a bigger role, then they've got to kind of guide you through it every single scene. Every single scene is different, right? So it's my thing is both. My thing is, you know, I technically I know what I want to look like, and once I tell my people, okay, this is what I want. They okay, cool. Then okay, now let me talk to my actors. This is what we're gonna do. Bada bing, bada bam, bada bam, bada bam, bada bam. And then just, you know, ready, action. Let's go. Let's do this, and just wrap it up. And
I love talking about this with you. I love your process. It's very exciting. Like you're gonna go really far with this.
I love it. I read.
The handwriting's on the wall. It's obvious. Like 81 awards for your last short. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I have one of my trophies in my car right now, actually. Thanks. But I love it. That's to me the most important thing is I love doing it. Yeah. I love telling stories. I love filming stories and telling stories that way. And I love watching people's reactions. You know, when we played in film festivals and it's on the big screen in theaters, right? You know, I see my small little cast and my small little crew that work their asses off. they're sitting there, they're watching it, and I'm watching all the people who've never seen it before, how they react. When are they laughing at the right places? Are they are they crying at the right places? Are they paying attention? And nobody's ever perfect. My films aren't perfect. No film in this planet has probably ever been perfect. Some have come really close, but but I learn each time. I'm like, okay, I'll do this next time. I'll do that next time. I'll do that next time.
Yeah.
You learn and you learn. And
Tough lessons sometimes, but
yeah. And luckily, I've never really made a complete piece of shit.
Yeah.
The closest thing was probably my first film, and that won awards too. It won Best Picture, won Best Director, and it won Best Acting. And that was that horrible first film that I made. And but I guess some people. It's funny because there was 2 reviews that I read, and one was horrible, and then the next review was about someone who reviewed me on Latin Kings of Comedy, and she didn't like me at all. So when I saw that she reviewed my film, I'm like, oh, she's gonna give me a new asshole here.
Yeah.
But she actually loved it. She goes, well, it is what it is. It's charming, the film, da da da. I'm like, this woman who hated me in my Latin Kings of Comedy sketch, or not sketch, or my set, she loved my little cheap, crappy film.
Yeah.
And so, you never know, man. Films. Yeah. There are people out there who probably don't like The Godfather.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
One of the best films ever made.
Just keep it moving forward.
Yeah, you just got to keep it going. You learn. You go, okay. You
I
listen.
think we're our own worst enemies. Wouldn't you say though? We're like highly critical. Like I've came off stage from live stuff, and sometimes you could see I'm either burnt a little or down a little bit. Like it gets a little dark after you do.
See, but I think that's a better way to go than the people that have a horrible set and get off stage going, I killed it.
So I think we should acknowledge all these sounds, right, Joey?
Yeah.
So we're out on the boat, right?
Yeah.
The show's on the boat. And today, because it's a holiday weekend, there's boats going by, there's wind kicking up, helicopters.
We're on this, and it's not a boat, guys. This is a nice little yacht, man. It's pretty dope. 2 bedrooms. Look at that. It's like tri-level, right there. Your living area is like tri-level. Then you come out here to the patio. Then you got another upper level. That's, I guess, your control room up there or whatever.
Joey's liking this.
I'm digging ships, man.
We might have to go to Cabo in this thing.
Dude, I'm down. How long does it take to get to Cabo from here?
Well, we're gonna yacht club hop on the way there, aren't we?
Okay.
So
yeah, yes. I don't know.
Right, so we do 4 to 8 hours a day. Every 4 to 8 hours is another yacht club, right?
All right, I'm down.
We just keep stopping at yacht clubs on the way down and get to Cabo in a week or 2, and
all right.
Maybe take a month to come back and do some gigs on the way. Yeah,
there's actually a gig in Cabo. Manny Maldonado, very funny comic. He has a room in Cabo once a month.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
I hear the yacht club circuit pays pretty well.
Just
do the yacht clubs.
Let's do it, dude. I'm down.
You have any great stories about the water? Maybe from a kid?
Well,
tragedies?
I don't know how to
positive stuff.
I don't know how to swim. I can doggy paddle. I almost drowned once. I was at the Marshall. On one of the Marshall Islands, and it was a military gig, but it was a military base. This was a 3-mile island. It was only military people and few locals. That's it. So the beach was beautiful, absolutely clean, and me and the other 2 comics, we borrowed snorkels and flippers, fins, whatever, from some people. And the ones I borrowed were super long. I guess they were scuba diving ones or something.
Yeah. And
so I don't know how to swim, but I can. With those flippers, I could stay afloat, right? So we're snorkeling, and I'm like, hey, let's go deeper. So I'm like a moron. So we go deeper, and they're a little ahead of me, and I'm like, okay, let me get some rest. So I was gonna just not stand or whatever it is, go vertical and just kick my legs and stay afloat a little bit, but I couldn't. It was too hard to kick because those flippers were too long.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, I'm getting tired. And I told myself, don't panic. And right away, I panicked. And I started going down a little bit. And I'm thinking, do I kick my flippers off? But I borrowed them. I don't want to lose them. I'm like, I don't know how. But then if I kick them off, I don't know how to stay afloat. And I yelled, help. And the guys were probably about 20 feet away. And they both, thank God, heard me. Because honestly, if they didn't hear me, I would have drowned. I would have died.
Yeah.
And so they both came back.
People don't realize you could just lay on your back.
No, but right? I can't. I sink when I lay on my back. Some people can do that. Some people,
Joey's a sack of potatoes.
Yeah, I just sink. So they came back and they grabbed me and they pulled me up to this little reef, and even though you're not supposed to stand on it, I'm like, I'm not gonna fucking die. I don't fuck this reef, right? So I stood on the reef. I got my breath back, and then they guided me back to the beach, and then they went off and did their thing, and I just stood there like a little boy, feeling bad about my life. But I'm like my two friends, Drew Marks and G. Riley, both saved my life, and yeah, that was fun.
Joey, I'm going to tell you something I tell everybody who comes on this boat.
What's that?
Stay on the boat.
Yes.
They always go, oh, I don't swim. Each guest, and
right.
I'm like, stay on the boat.
Yeah, this is not a problem. We crash, put on one of these vests, right? Just
stay on the boat.
Yeah, no, I'm all about staying on the boat. But that's funny. Like, I'm not afraid of water. It's just I don't know how to swim, so I have to either wear like some kind of life vest, or
life vest.
I just have to jump
I'll put a vest on you.
where I'm close enough to just grab the edge of something. You know what I mean? So
I'll give you a vest and a walkie.
There you go. That's all I need.
And we're set.
I'm good to go.
You're set.
Then I'm confident.
I'll give you a vest with one of those nib buttons, the emergency radar. You know,
yes.
Where,
So
we can keep you located even if you're 20 feet away.
I was in Thailand, dude, and I had a thing in the tide was pushing me away, and I was with some people. We were like this little island, not desert. It was a little tiny island, but by ourselves. And I just went out to swim a little bit, but I had my life vest. But the waves were just taking me away. My friend, again, had to come and save my life. I mean, I wasn't going to drown, but I probably would have been lost in the ocean.
Joey, this seems like a reoccurring thing with you. And I asked you to come back out to the boat.
Yeah.
Because you were on the show a couple of years ago.
Yeah, but I'm not afraid of boats, and I'm not afraid
you ran
of water.
right out here.
Yeah, I'm not afraid of the water. I'm not afraid. I'll jump in. As long as I could grab something close by, I'll jump in the water without a vest or anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, you're welcome on my boat anytime, Joey.
Thank you.
I said to him, Joey, I'm bringing the show back. Can you help me out? Will you come on the show? Here he is.
There you go. It's cool. And dude, I'm so proud of you with the new boat. It's really nice.
Thank you.
It's a really pretty boat.
Thank you.
Because this is a boat where you have so much room. It's more room than some apartments.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Wet bar with ice machine, tap beer. That's the part I like.
Yes.
Draft beer on call.
Dude,
right? Fireplaces, fire pit.
This is nice. This is living.
Yeah, I'm loving it.
This is why people live in California.
Yeah, I'm enjoying life. The weather hasn't been as good as it was years ago.
Right.
Like it's been strange the last 2 years in the humidity.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's that much better when you're on the yacht.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
It could be dreary out, and I go, wow, beautiful sunny day in my life.
Yeah, this is great. If you want, just like, I don't like this spot. I'm going to move over there.
Yeah.
You take it out and you fucking go to how long is it? Like an hour to Catalina, right?
Yeah, I could do it about an hour to an hour and a half. Where my sailboat, you were on my sailboat last
that's what it was.
Yeah. And it takes 7 hours to get over there on the sailboat.
Mm-hmm.
And the same thing for like a trawler, one of those, power boats that don't have a lot of power.
Right.
These big trawlers, they're as slow as a sailboat.
Oh, okay.
So this happens to be a little bit faster than the sheriff's boat. They do about 22 knots, the emergency boats, to get to you, and this thing does 30.
Dude, that's great.
And it's a condo, flying condo.
Yeah.
Thing's fast.
Dude, it's
a lot of fun.
It's great.
A lot of fun. We've had 35 to 50 people for Friday night dinners at the island with 25 dinghies around us.
Nice.
And there's still room on the boat for people.
Right.
Dance floor, music going.
That's freaking great, man.
Yeah, pretty rocking. We're going to have to go.
Yeah.
We need to take a trip.
Yeah, I'm down.
And maybe we take the listeners with us, too. Or maybe do a live TikTok of the trip.
Yeah, we'll think of something. It'll be good.
Yeah. Well, I really appreciate you being here.
Oh, thanks for having me, Tony.
Thank you so much, Joey.
You're a good guy, bro. You're a good guy.
Like, you're a good guy. No, you're a good guy.
You're a good guy.
Joey's the man, and he's a true Renaissance man. Whenever I get to sit down and relax and talk or even do a show with somebody who's so talented and multi-talented,
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
You're the man. This is your time. I don't know if you feel it. I feel it just next to you, like you're radiating right now, energy, like, woof.
I just wanted to keep going. Like, I just want to keep doing it. You know, I really love filmmaking. I really love telling good stories.
Well, it's you. Just keep doing it, like we're talking about. Yeah. You're doing it. Other people talking about it. You're doing it. Right, so just continue doing what you're doing. You're on the right path. Believe me, it's obvious. 81 awards on the left.
That's just this first one. So I mean, that's this one.
You can't write this stuff. You know, it's like, and the chapters that are coming that haven't been written.
Yeah. So far, every project I've ever made has won an award. My film, my movie, the first thing I did won awards. All my short films have won awards. Both sitcom pilots I shot have won awards. So I'm really lucky.
So all I've got to say to you now is strap yourself in.
Dude, I hope so, man.
You're in for the ride of your life.
That's the kind of problem I want.
And you'll come back and tell us, right?
Yes, of course.
We'll talk more about it.
Of course.
You might not have time to talk to us. I'll have to pick someplace really creative. On set with you, maybe. That's the next show.
Shit, we'll shoot something on the yacht. We'll figure something out.
Now he's talking my game. Now he's talking my game. All right, Joey. Great to have you.
Thanks, my brother.
Any words or inspiration? Because I feel it just being with you, but anything to struggling filmmakers, inspiring filmmakers and comedians, people at home who are just like living through you at the moment but want to do something?
Yeah, man, absolutely. For anybody out there who's doing anything like that, especially in the arts, right? Filmmaking, music, comedy, acting. And this sounds cliche, but just do it, man. Don't let anybody ever rain on your parade, and just learn, man. Learn more and more. Be like one of those Roombas, those vacuums where it hit a wall and then it goes another way, finds another way. You hit a wall, then it finds hits the end of a table, goes somewhere else.
Great analogy.
Don't let yourself be stagnant. Work on shit. Always work. Filmmakers, like I said, you can make films on your phone, man. Hook up with other filmmakers. So, you know, if you have a camera but they have lights, and you find another guy who's got sound, always get creative and never ever look. People who don't have enough balls to do what you want to do will always tell you not to do it, or they would always tell you why you shouldn't do it. Screw that, man. Avoid that. You do it and then show them afterwards. Look, I did it. The thing you were afraid of, I did it. And real good friends will back you up. Real good friends go, look, I don't see it. I don't know how you're doing this, but good luck, man. If you need my help, I'll help you. That's a real friend.
Yeah.
You know, a friend doesn't necessarily have to believe in what you're doing, but they have to believe in you as a person and go, you know what?
Yeah.
All right. I have a friend, I'm not going to mention names, he's a comic, who wanted to do a movie. And it was a horrible freaking idea. The way he wanted to do it was horrible. The idea was horrible. The script was horrible. And I didn't want to break his heart, but I tried to guide him. I was like, maybe you want to do it this way. Maybe you should do this. And I remember him thinking, like, I was like shitting on his parade. Like, he goes, but, you don't understand. But. And then as soon as I heard the first of that, I'm like, okay, you're right. And I just went with it. And I go, I'm just going to support him. I knew in my mind he was never going to make the movie. I knew in my mind it was never going to get off the ground. And I was right. It never did. But I'm like, you know what? Our friendship is more important. I'm never going to go, fuck it, I'm not going to help you because it's a bad idea. I'll do that to somebody I don't know because I'm like, I can't, this is a bad idea. Yeah. I'm not going to be involved. But my friend, I was going to be, all right, whatever you need. So I was just there for him. Anytime he had a question, hey, I should do this, I should do that, should I do this? But eventually he just didn't do it, didn't do it. But the thing was, I don't want to, piss on his happy, I want to do this, I want to do this thing. Because who knows, maybe he would have came up with, even though I thought it was a horrible idea, I also realized maybe it was an idea that he could have made happen. And I was going, oh, fuck, I didn't even think of that. Okay, you made it work. So I never, even though I may not agree with something or I may think something's not going to work, I always listen because I could be wrong. And I like that. I like to find out when I'm wrong or something. And I'm like, oh, this is good. I just learned something else. I just learned another thing. All right, cool. Yeah. Thank you for teaching me this new lesson. I never would have, if I would have stayed hard-headed or I would have stayed stubborn, I never would have learned this lesson. But thank you for putting me in my place, and I appreciate it. And I'm going to be a better person now because of it.
No ego.
You can't have ego. Ego is the... Look, we can be confident.
You won't be able to find a team, right?
Yeah, no.
How do you get a team together if you have an ego?
And the thing is this, ego is like any other emotion, like jealousy, hate, pain, anger. It's natural to feel this and feel that, right? You can't have a kind of ego that's going to hurt you. You can't have a kind of ego that's not going to let you learn something or not let you connect with somebody. You know, you just have to have confidence. Like, I'm the kind of person, if somebody has an idea, we're talking film, let's say, or we're talking on how to shoot something, if they have an idea and I don't like it, I just don't go, no. I explain why. Because I think what I want to do is I want to get this person on the same sheet of music with me. Because even though we may think differently, but I want them, at least I know what direction I'm going, so the next idea they have can fit better, and I could go, oh yeah, that's a great idea, let's do that. You know what I mean? So I always explain why.
Yeah.
And then if they have a better idea, I want them to explain why I think their idea is better. Because if it is, trust me, I'll say, yeah, let's do that. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Let's go with that one. I like that
Yeah.
idea better.
Being
Perfect.
open.
And I give credit all the time. Like, people, there's a scene in my horror movie, Missing, where the way it's written is this guy's torturing this woman. She's tied up, and he makes her. He wants her to be quiet, so he takes his finger and he goes shh, and he puts it to her lip and he goes shh. But the scene before that, he rips her fingers off, and it's a love story. No, he rips her fingers off, and
story of my life.
Johnny Depp, yeah. So he rips her fingers off. So one of the PAs, some girl goes, hey, you know, it'd be cool if when he did that to her, he used her finger instead of his own. I'm like, oh, fuck, that's great. I go, yes, let's do that. So anytime I tell the story, I give her credit for it because it was her idea. It wasn't my idea. Yeah. But it's creepy as fuck. Like, he takes her finger and goes, shh. And I'm like, oh, that's awesome. But that wasn't my idea. It was somebody else's idea, but it was perfect. But as soon as she said it, I knew it. Being
open, though, is key.
Oh, yeah. But as soon as she said it, I go, yeah. I didn't go, oh, no, I don't like that idea. No, that was a better idea than I had.
Yeah.
I never even saw it in my mind. They did, and I'm like, good for you.
Brought it to the table.
Yeah, and I'm like, let's do that. That's teamwork. I love stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh, well, there's some sets where people aren't open, and people know. They're like, oh, no, you can't say anything to the director. Don't go give him
I'm the kind of person you can. And like I said, I'll explain why. Because they may go, oh, okay, I see where he's going now. Yeah. That's why he doesn't want to do this, because And I'm really, like, there's stuff that I'll stop and I'll think about it. I'm like, well, let me think about that. Yeah. But there's stuff I'm like, definitely not.
Now you make me want to work with you even more. Hold on, here's another headshot.
I like this one. This is a good one. So then, you know, then there's times where idea's perfect. I'm like, yes, let's do that. And it's just like, you know. But again, man, it's all perspective. It's all subjective, and it's you know, it doesn't matter, because you could shoot the best stuff, and then you edit it and it looks like shit, or you could shoot shit and then you edit it, it looks fantastic, right? So it's just editing or making a movie or sketch or a short film. Is you basically making it 3 times. You're making it when you're writing it, you're making it when you're shooting it, and you're making it when you're editing it. And your goal, hopefully, is to make it better each time, and to make it what you thought in your mind, right? There's times where it looks nothing like the way the script is, or it looks nothing because of you didn't shoot the right footage, or you don't get enough coverage, or you can't sell it the way you want to sell it. You know, so if I know a scene is supposed to get a certain reaction, I'm going to shoot the scene to get that certain reaction. You know, because otherwise I don't want it to be harder for me in editing. I want it to be easier, not harder. I want my editor just to go, okay, this is perfect. I'll just you shot everything that's in the script. Let's put it together and let's see what it looks like. You know, and then that's kind of the way I go. So
we're gonna have a couple of beers though, right? And we're gonna hang more on the boat. But time's up for you guys to be listening in on us.
Right.
So I guess we'll sign off and
then
check me out on started.
Check me out on Instagram, Joey Medina Comic, one word, Joey Medina Comic. There you'll see all my shenanigans and where I'm performing and all my film stuff.
On Instagram?
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Joey Medina Comic.
Any place else you want to?
You can go to my production website, which is a lot of my production stuff is on there. It's BronxBoyEntertainment.com.
Ooh,
so if you go to Bronx Boy Entertainment, you can see all my films there. You won't be able to see this last film yet because it's still in the festivals, but you can see almost everything else.
Great. Love it. Bronx Boy Entertainment. I love that.
That's right. See,
wow. Would you be upset if I open up Brooklyn Boy Entertainment?
No, I like it. We'll be right next door to each other. It's just works.
I love it. I love it. Well, thanks everybody for listening. Thank you, Joey, a true Renaissance man. And it's always fun to see you, Joey. Hang out.
Thank you, brother. Same here, my friend.
Yeah. We're in Marina Del Rey. You've been listening to Live and On Board. Until next time, ahoy.